we're gonna start in the middle of us talking about that.
Yeah, so we started the show now. Anyway.
Oh.
Hello, you'll never know what that conversation was, chat, but hello, we're doing Thought Bubble again.
Welcome to Thought Bubble.
So, yeah, it's been a couple weeks, because last week I fully moved into the house. Well, not everything is here, but, like, the important stuff is here right now. And now it's just kind of, like, getting the rest of the house ready, making sure everything's good. Yeah, that got moved in, hurt my back a little bit because mattresses are fucking heavy. My car almost didn't make it. That was fun.
Your car almost didn't make it?
So my car has an issue with its coolant, and so it like loses it much more quickly than it should, and it was like an hour drive. And right as we got to the house, I saw the temperature go up a little bit more than it should on the car.
Oh, no.
It's fine. I just am not going to be able to drive it for over an hour at any given time. So that's very useful.
Firstly, ouch. Secondly, so as someone who is not car man, when it comes to like coolant, are you talking about like what keeps the temperature for like just the stuff under the hood or for the actual passengers and driver?
Just the engine.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not like an AC thing.
No, AC was fine.
Okay. Air conditioning is fully operational. No, but
I feel like AC going out would be a less of a problem because you could roll the window down.
I don't know how windy Chicago is.
The Windy City.
To be fair, you were the first person I heard that from.
Bullshit. Fuck you. Anyway,
I don't know people from Chicago. I haven't known people from Chicago until like last year.
I don't know anyone from Chicago, but I know Chicago's the Windy City. It's an important city.
I know Chicago for two things: pizza and the Cell Block Tango, and that's fucking and Batman. That's fucking it. Like, I don't know.
Well, then you should remember how windy it was in Batman.
They specifically chose that city so that it's a fucking cape.
Its cape would just clap.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. One fun thing that happened that should have talked about last week, but we did not have the episode, but Apple's WWDC event happened, and not only was it in my notes for that week, but it's also in your notes, because you wrote down that there's something Apple that you like.
Yes. And the funny thing is, I know, so obviously you're more the Apple person, but the thing that I drop dead fell in love with, which, by the way, for those concerned, is not it's not one of the probably genuinely beneficial accessibility things or ease of use, whatever. I'm sure those are great. But the thing that I fell in love with, I'm pretty sure is probably your least favorite part of the entire thing, because we have specifically talked about how much I love and you don't love this particular thing: liquid glass.
Liquid glass is fine. I really like the design language.
Okay.
Liquid glass isn't Frutiger Aero, fucker.
Okay. Firstly, it is a massive element of Frutiger Aero. Secondly, I thought you said you didn't like translucent shit. Like,
I don't know when I said that. I don't like the shitty transparency that is in a lot of Android widgets. So translucency is different from transparency.
Right. So what I thought you meant by transparency is like a certain amount of, or a certain percentage of transparency, otherwise known as translucency. And so...
Translucency is not the same as transparency.
It is not. But like less than 100% transparency is translucency.
There is a different quality to like translucency.
Anyway, so are you said you're fine with it, or you're excited by liquid glass, or do you not
I
care
really
too
like the
much?
liquid glass designs.
I love
I
it. I
like
love it
when
so
I
much.
pulled down my like lock screen. It literally just looks like I'm pulling glass down, and it like warps the things below it. It's
Like
very nice looking.
I truly think that it is probably the perfect way to blend like modern digital technological especially consumer tech sensibilities in terms of UI design. um like I think it's the perfect blend of that and what made styles before the what's it called, like this flat design. I'm not a I'm not a UX specialist, but anyway, before like the modern flat shit came in, what was more popular at that time that like people have started to miss, whether for nostalgic reasons or just because like you like how physical and tangible everything felt, you know. And yeah, of course, Fruitiger Arrow is a part of that, and I do not think that that's ignorable about this. But yeah, I think it's a perfect blend of the two things, and it is weirdly outside of the like very real functionality of the fucking hearing aid AirPod Pros. This is my absolute favorite thing that Apple has done in a decade. This is 100%. Yeah.
See, I'm still against you calling glass inherently Fruitiger Arrow.
I'm not saying it is. I am saying that I don't think it's. I think it's disingenuous to say that it's not in any way related or inspired by the style of Fruitiger Arrow, because like listen,
I
not
would
everything.
say Fruitiger Arrow is inspired by the same thing as this. I would not say they are the same.
I would say so. Not everything with a bunch of paper stacked in it is a novel, but if you see something with a bunch of paper stacked in it that you could flip through, you might think about a novel. Like it might remind you of that, even though it's not literally what it is. I think that is a
Yeah,
completely
I
appropriate
can
way.
understand you getting reminded of Fruitiger Arrow, but I do not think it is very Fruitiger Arrow. I would not describe it that way.
I think maybe you misremember parts of that. I don't know, but maybe we just see it differently.
I'm literally Googling Fruitiger Arrow to refresh my memory. I would not say these look the same aesthetically.
Again, didn't say the
Anything
same.
I'm
I did say
saying.
similar, but yeah. Anyway, I think
I don't think they look that similar. Any of these photos, just because it's glass? I
glass and
don't see
bubbly,
it.
like it resembles the bubbles that were like also more common at the time, like because they're the rounded edges of buttons. I'm not like upset about us not agreeing on this. I'm just
That
very confused.
I would say it reminds me of bubbles. I don't think it's specifically the
Which were a
aesthetic
big
of
part of
Fruitiger
Fruitiger
Era.
Arrow. Like it was a big part of that.
I can agree that two things can have similar backgrounds. I would not draw the conclusion to Fruitiger Arrow because of the aesthetic differences between these two. But yes,
It was
there are
a
bubbles. It also reminds me of real life where there is glass.
right, but also a very popular, like not that long ago, implementation of bubbles in a similar venue was known as Fruitiger Arrow. It was very popular for a memorable period of time that was not very distant.
Know what? This also reminds me of the Apple stores where everything is made of glass, where it's all
Uh-huh.
glass. So,
That's
like,
also
I
true.
don't find a lot of value in drawing it to Fruitiger Arrow because I don't think the aesthetics line up. Just because there's glass.
I don't consider it 1-to-1, but I do think it's close enough to draw a comparison. I don't really have anything else to say like on that particular part of it, but I do like it. I think this is just where we split on that, but I do want to go over
Yeah.
Liz's messages here. Fun thing I've heard, no idea if it's true. It wasn't initially called the Windy. Oh, this is about Chicago. Oh, but long-winded politicians is the reason.
It is windy as fuck, though.
I'm sure it is. I mean, Batman lives there. To be honest, after looking at Ashley's phone, I honestly barely noticed it. I can tell from Ashley's reactions that these options are cool, but I'm pretty mid on the Apple stuff. I could see this not being very noticeable from like a quick glance, and I think that's part of what makes it a good thing. Like that because if like as much as I don't like Apple technology, if I was a user of it, and what do you know, I have friends who are, I'm sure you don't want it literally changing like everything from the ground up, to just look a little fancier, but in a way that you have to relearn. I'm sure that like there's an element of, hey, this is still very close to what was before, but it looks just a little nicer in a very tangible way. Like I don't know.
Like,
I don't know how much.
If you go into the Discord, I shared my home screen, a screenshot.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to put Discord on my lower screen there. Hold on.
And I think it's done very nicely. I'm not 100% married to having everything be glass like I have right now. It might go back because I do like the different colors on the home screen. But I think it looks nice. I mean, I'm happy for actually be excited for all the updates, but there's nothing that would change me being an Android person. Oh yeah, I don't think this is an update to have anyone convert.
Right, of course not. But this was just a little piece of credit to give Apple. But I, as an Android person, funny you should mention, because I actually looked in the Play Store to see if I could find like decent looking, bubble glass sort of icon pack, just like try out for a little bit, see how well it works. Turned out, by the way, at least as far as I could like immediately tell, it just doesn't have anything like that to this effect, which is weird. It feels like this would have been a no-brainer, but you can get it to work in Icon Pack Studio, and I did manage to put that together. And then I realized, if apps aren't differently colored, like, it takes more work to know what you're looking at when you look at your screen, like even just a little bit. And I'm glad that it's optional, the icons part of it, because like this had a big risk of being an accessibility nightmare for people that just have a little bit of trouble with their vision, seeing no change in color between these icons.
Yeah, and it also helped, like, me, I don't notice it as much because I have very few on my home screen, and anything that isn't on my home screen that I need to find, iOS is nice because I can swipe down on my home screen and type what I need. So like, I'm not looking through an app drawer like ever. Which is also like when I do use my Android, which has become a lot less after this new iOS update, actually. I have a launcher that does the same thing.
Yeah. Wait, you have a launcher that does the same liquid glass thing?
No, for pulling down on the home screen to search. The liquid glass, I haven't seen anything quite the same. Because like you can have stuff that has that like translucency or transparency, but it doesn't have the translucency of like warping the light underneath it.
I see what you mean. Yeah, let
me try to take a screenshot of this. Yeah,
I love almost anything frosted glass when it comes to digital technology, but I cannot wait until someone gets a good launcher or theme of some kind working on working on Android phones for like that resembles liquid glass, because this is the most beautiful thing that Apple has done in a good while, in my opinion.
Yeah,
sorry, barring the AirPod Pros and the Apple Pencil are like the two other things. So there's the big three for me. Yeah.
If you look at the newest screenshot I sent, this is me pulling down my lock screen, and you can see it like the edges, it's warping and doing the like, why can't I think of it? The like light through a prism thing. Yes.
Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah, this is
and like great. I haven't seen anything that does that as well. But yeah, so WWDC Liquid Glass was the huge thing that they announced, but I think there were a lot of other cool things that they did. And of course, before we leave Liquid Glass for a moment, of course it's inspired by Vision OS. They really care about Vision OS for some reason when nobody else does. So that's something.
I do want to say, in the realm of
mhm.
this, like, if I was an iPhone user, like, if I just already was this whole time, this would actually, like, I'd be excited to wake up in the morning to this phone update and play with it. Like,
Yeah.
this is the degree to which I'm like, this is not just a simple, oh, that's fine. Like, I'm head over heels for this shit. But yeah.
So another thing they added is their version of call screening, which works
Right.
fairly similar to Android's, but until the person on the other end that they're screening tells you who they are and what they want, it doesn't even notify you that someone's calling, which I think is amazing. I love that. Hold assist. We have hold assist now. And I like how they portrayed it in the actual showcase, where it was the iPhone is just like, sorry, they'll be with you in just a moment when somebody actually picks up the phone.
As if it's fucking Alfred Pennyworth kind of shit.
It's like, we're doing the shit to them. We're putting them on hold.
I love so much the idea that just every iPhone user just gets like a little digital secretary. And it's like, it's a really cute little, I can see it getting so annoying, but it's also just super cute. Of like, oh yeah, your aunt will be with you in a moment, please.
There is now just a games app, which will be nice for consolidating all of the games on your phone, instead of just having like a folder marked games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Messages, you can have a customizable background, and it's getting translation integration and blah 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 blah. Request and receive Apple Cash in group chats. That's actually kind of cool. I really like Apple Cash as a system. Very nice.
Have you used it?
A couple times, yeah. Because people at work would like put in an order for everybody and then request whatever each individual's total was for lunch. Mm-hmm. It's very easy just to get that going.
Would you default to Apple Pay or Venmo?
I would, if everybody had Apple, I would just do Apple Cash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
Easier because, like, especially they had an update a while ago that if you just like, you don't even have to like share your numbers or anything. You can just like put your phone close to the other person's with the transaction on, and it'll just do it. Much easier. Yeah, live translation happens in FaceTime, phone calls, everywhere. Translations everywhere. Let's fucking go.
I hope it works well, because like that is another like really big one to me, if it actually is like well functioning.
Yeah.
We'll
have to see. I mean, there's beta out of it now. Obviously, you can see I have it on my phone. So I'm sure there will be people going over it. Also, if you hear lightning, it's fucking thunderstorming right now, because of course it is.
I think we got one coming this weekend.
Let's see. Oh yeah, all of the like photos stuff. I don't care for like the 3D-ish photo thing they showed off. I did like, if you put a photo as your lock screen, when you get notifications, it'll put the thing you want to see in the photo above all of the notifications dynamically. I loved that.
Yeah,
just pushed the dog up the screen so you could keep looking at your dog. And ignore all of the text messages asking where you've been.
I can't avoid seeing the dog no matter how many text me.
The update for the camera app, I actually really like it. It makes it a little bit more simple. I don't like that some things are locked behind a gesture control instead of a button. But oh well, I mean, I like gestures. Doesn't affect me. Let's see. Visual intelligence got better, whatever. Maps learning your preferred route to places. And give you a notification in advance if there is a delay on the road without you having to go in and make the route. If it's like, oh yeah, we know you're about to go to work and you haven't even touched maps yet, it can give you a notification saying there's going to be a delay. I fucking love that. That's awesome.
Cool. I know that this would not be a very Apple thing to do, so I wouldn't like raise my expectations or whatever, but I would love for it to do that. But then the data of your route, you could then like port your preferred route. You could port over to something like Google Maps if you prefer that. Because like I know a lot of iPhone users that are like, oh yeah, no, I do like I am full on in this ecosystem, but I cannot stand Apple Maps. You know, like
No,
that
Apple
for a
Maps
lot of
actually
people.
fucks. That's actually one
Does it?
thing that like even Liz kind of agrees on is Apple Maps's instructions are nicer to listen to and more informative of what you need to do.
Maybe it's gotten better over the
Um,
years. I'm just really used to
I
hearing
think
people
it's
go like,
better than
yeah.
Google at this point. In just terms of like if you need the auditory instructions, Apple Maps is better. Yeah, look, Liz agrees. Um, it'll I mean, I haven't used Google a lot recently, but in the times where I've had to hear other people's use it, it's not that smart. Apple gives you a bit more information on the road of what you're needing to be doing, or like, oh hey, go past this road and then it's the next one. And like Google doesn't give that nice of instructions all of the time.
Well, I'm glad they've updated it pretty well then.
All right, so I think that was mainly it for iOS. Let's see. There was some CarPlay shit. I don't use CarPlay. Messages also gets polls in group chats. So if a bunch of people are trying to, figure something out, make a decision, not only can you just make a poll, but Apple Intelligence can also like suggest you make a poll if it's like, oh yeah, it seems like you're having a tough time.
I wonder if you can toggle anonymity in those polls, because like I could see then it being used for like, I know this sounds a little goofy, but like if you're making like a tough decision on a serious matter and like you want this group of people to like, for whatever reason, like, because there's 1,000 reasons that could happen, you could toggle, hey, the names of who voted what way will not be displayed. I think that's a great option to have, and I hope that they do, or at some point, if they don't now. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I also like the unified version numbers of iOS. That's something
I do like that. I like that they're going with the car model route of its current year next year. For the version numbers.
Why is it next year, if you know? Like, because I don't feel like I have a handle on that.
I don't really know. I presume they make it in 25, so people are going to be driving it in 26. Fiscal year, I'm guessing. Yeah, it might be fiscal year too.
Oh, okay. Because the thing of like when they're making it doesn't make as much sense to me, because then if like they're making it and then when you use it, it is still the next year, that when they're making it, they're naming it 2 years ahead.
Well, I mean, when it's in production and you can buy it, which is usually the year prior to what they're model numbered.
I see what you mean. Okay. The fiscal year for 26 begins in July. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
iPad OS 26. It fucks. I love iPad OS now.
Okay.
So it's basically it's a Mac now. So you can have multiple windows open, and it actually is treated like Windows. It's not just like, oh, hey, half of the screen is this app and half the screen is the others. You can resize them to whatever size you want them to be. Mm-hmm. You can have as many open as you want, or until the computer runs out of RAM, or the iPad runs out of RAM.
Yeah, they should have made it feel more like a laptop like this a long time ago. I'm glad they finally came around.
I agree, and I hope one day they're just going to be like, fuck it, who cares about the distinguishing features of a MacBook versus an iPad, and we finally get a MacBook with a touchscreen. That would be nice.
I am fucking shocked that there is no MacBook with a touchscreen yet.
It's because they want iPad to be the touch device, and it's like, look, I get it because you're prissy or whatever, Apple. Who gives a fuck? Give me Apple Pencil support on my MacBook.
I'm gonna give a scolding hot take.
Welcome to chat, Courtney Chrono. Wait,
Chrono,
what? What are we talking about? Wait, what? Let me know.
Oh, we're talking about Apple shit, especially in terms of the recent updates with WWDC, because we didn't get to cover it last week. But okay, so I'm gonna give a little bit of a hot take, but it's in their credit, kind of in the direction that they seem to be going. No, I mean they never made a touchscreen.
Yeah,
Mac.
they've never made a touchscreen Mac.
I thought you meant for the whole topic. Yeah, they've never made a fucking touchscreen Mac. I'm as surprised as you are. But on that topic, here's what I think. Remember how once upon a time Microsoft made that one I think it was like one of the Microsoft Surface laptops where it was like the almost like a clamshell, like it had like the weird hinge to it that was kind of fun, but you could pop it out and it was a touchscreen and you could reverse it so that you could just use it as a tablet with the keyboard underneath. I think if you just like stop distinguishing past a certain point between a MacBook laptop and the iPad, which you're making more like a laptop, and you just make a combination device already where you're relying on the external keyboard of the iPad, like, I don't know, I feel like that's a feasible direction where you could just like use the keyboard or not use the keyboard, and it's effectively what people want from the iPad, and then just you can kind of forget about the idea of a conventional MacBook at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I would love, like, I think there can be space for both while both have a touchscreen. Apple doesn't seem to think so. I think it's stupid.
Like, what would you use it like? Provided like an iPad could be now made more into a laptop, like what would you want to use specifically a MacBook for?
I think a MacBook would be good for more serious day-to-day work, where an iPad can be like either casual or more creative work in terms of like, I think having a Surface like device isn't in Apple's best interest, really. I think they could have a touchscreen Mac that just has a little bit more functionality, but you wouldn't necessarily want to use it for the same things you're using your iPad's touchscreen for, which is like using it with the Apple Pencil to create art. You're using it for the functionality of being able to tap on something on your screen instead of having to mouse to it and whatever. So I think there's space for both of these to where like you have more of like an actual desktop experience with the laptop, and then you have the more mobile version with the iPad, but still have them be fairly similar. Just slightly different use cases. If you want something lighter to just hold in your hand, sit on the couch instead of having the full laptop, you get the iPad. If you want a full laptop, you're going to be sitting at a cafe somewhere doing all of your whatever shit you're doing, you get the MacBook.
I'm curious as to how Procreate is going to look in a popped out window mode as just a conventional hovering window. I know that's just not how you would use that app, but I'm curious how they'll be adapting that one, or if it even is a weird thing at all for them. Again, not a
here in a minute, I'll grab my iPad and load it up and see what it looks like.
Do you have Procreate?
I believe I do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fucking. Because I would think iOS exclusive apps just haven't had that incentive to, like, the iOS apps specifically that are built for a mobile device such as the iPhone or the iPad have not really been incentivized to adapt their UI for a hovering window system.
They have the incentive now that Tim Apple tells them to.
Well, yeah, but like that literally was less than 2 weeks ago. Like
Well, they probably all worked on it for much longer than that.
I know, like in terms of like
I'm
raw
sure they
working
didn't
time, I'm
spring
just
this on every single developer they work with randomly.
right, I know, but I'm saying I don't know if this like more deeply than we would think changed how some apps have to work. Maybe not. I don't know.
Do I not have
I'm
it
just waiting for
downloaded?
data breath at
Okay,
this point.
well,
Okay,
I
we'll
will
figure that out
download
at
it.
some point.
I'm
But yeah,
doing it right now. Procreate.
now I'm curious
Um,
if there's any apps besides that just like that don't work the same way or don't work as well in a popped out window. Like if that happens or if just everything is fine.
I mean, so far,
Because
everything I've used, which I haven't used a lot of different apps, I'll put like YouTube off to the side and Discord on one side and have Notion up every now and then, Safari.
yeah, because
Which is
the
another
reason
thing
I
now.
mentioned
I'm a Safari person.
right, of course. Um, but like the part of the reason I'm like so hung up on the floating window thing is because with an Android device line, you like designing for Android, there's so many different shapes and sizes and aspect ratios that Android devices come in to where like Android developers I would feel like are more used to having to accommodate for any case like that within reason. But if you are developing something specifically and only for Apple devices, such as Procreate is, and however many other apps, I don't keep too much track of it. They have been basically making it for around the same aspect ratios functionality for a very long time, whether it's on iPad or it's on iPhone, like just those two. And so if you can like click and drag the corner of that window and it's still supposed to function as seamlessly as you expected before, when it was never before going to be seen in that kind of proportion, I'm, yeah, that's something I'm curious about.
I mean, would it surprise you to say that it works probably just as you imagine it's working? It gets smaller. Some options disappear as it gets too small to show them, but
Yeah.
It works like resizing a window.
Cool. I mean, I'm glad that it's well accounted for. Like, I just wasn't sure.
All right, let's see what else. So, yep, Windows are a thing, which is the huge thing for iPad OS. The Games app is coming to it. I really like that. The preview, their PDF viewing and editing app from Mac is now on iPad. Don't think I'm going to have a huge use for it. It's a very nice app, though. I've loaded it up to look.
That feels like a very person walking around with an iPad who has to check on a whole bunch of things is going to be using that more than that.
Yeah.
Walking across a film set with a fucking PDF in hand.
Apps like, gosh, why can't I remember it? DaVinci Resolve, audio editing apps, anything that needs to render. Can now do it in the background as a background task, so you don't have to sit there and wait for it to do it before you can use your iPad again. Very nice. They are just making this more like a computer and not just like, oh, you have like a task you have to do, just wait until the task's done.
I wonder if
yeah, it's raining hard here, Liz. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you good? Well, I was wondering to what degree yeah, to what degree like background rendering of stuff actually like affects the performance of the device, because Apple prides itself on how like smooth it is.
I mean, I haven't used it, but iPads are using the same chips as the desktops nowadays. It's probably fine. The latest, the M4 chip came to iPad first. So they're pretty beefy machines now. Oh, and with everything being windowed now, you also have the menu bar like you have on Mac with, you know, the file, edit, properties, all of that stuff.
Wait, can you repeat that last part?
The menu bar from things like on a Mac desktop, you have options there like the file menu, the edit menu, things like that.
Oh, thank God.
You can put folders in the dock. That's something.
You couldn't before?
No.
God, okay. Yeah, this is a WWDC that is like especially full of stuff that I'm like, it feels like the old meme of Domino's going, "We put real cheese on the pizza now." Oh? Excuse me?
They have, because everybody uses iPad differently than how I guess they wanted to, where it is just like kind of a play around device. It's a mobile device. It isn't meant for serious work, but now they're actually making it for serious work. Because like obviously on a Mac you can put a folder in the dock, but it's like mobile devices, when's the last time you even went to the Files app on your phone, you know?
I'm not the right person to ask that question.
But now they are actually making this more like a desktop experience. So with the desktop experience, they're like, yeah, you can put folders there now. We should have that ability. Because like before, when you didn't have Windows, what were you using in the folder? Because like the folder, it was shown to be like, oh, hey, here's like stuff you're going to want to drag into other apps. But if you don't have a window open and your dock disappears when you're in an app, what would have been the point? So it just comes with a natural evolution of this becoming more like a desktop experience.
I kind of see that, though. I do wonder with, because it had side-by-side windows before, so
the dock does not appear during that.
The dock doesn't appear during that.
Yeah, it just acts like one big app that has two apps in it.
All right. I got nothing to say on that one anymore then.
Let's see. So Mac OS, iPad didn't have too much more. I mean, look, they're giving you desktop capabilities. Don't ask for too much more. Mac OS, this update, it every time I look at Mac OS, I want it more, and I'm gonna have to get a Mac at some point again. But this year's Mac OS is Mac OS Tahoe or Mac OS 26. They're still keeping their landmark code names, which I like. Does Android still do the like desserts for the Android versions?
They just stopped doing that. As
lame, boo.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, though. I do know that it's like there's a utility to it, because like all the time I'll hear like Android dessert, but I'm like, oh, like yes, this might tell me like if I'm looking for a specific thing, but that's a harder order to memorize than if it's just numbered.
All right, so
it's like I kind of get it, even though it's like it's less of the pretty thing, and usually I'm in favor of pretty things, but yeah, it's a compromise.
Let's see what all happened with Mac. This is the part I didn't watch too much in depth because I don't have a Mac currently. Apparently we're getting the Journal app.
Salivating for it though.
I want to use it just to like have the full suite and their interconnectedness. Getting the Games app. Oh, and iPad and macOS now are getting the Phone app. So that's nice.
They didn't.
Let's see. No, they didn't have the Phone app. They wanted the phone to be on phone.
All right.
I think you could answer a call from another device if you were getting a call on your phone, but you didn't have like a full app. It just kind of passed through the stuff onto your computer.
Yeah, because like I thought you were like, oh, you just can't pick up calls like that, and I'm like, in the era of Bluetooth headphones, excuse me.
Yeah, you can pick up a call on your iPad and Mac, and especially now that they have the Phone app, you can make calls from them. Let's see. Spotlight search is even better now. It has quick action keys for the App Store, folders, shortcuts, a bunch of different stuff. They're also now getting the new icons and the icon tinting that was shown off at last iOS version. And so now all of the apps can have the like whatever color you want them to be, or the liquid glass, clear look.
Sorry, going back to liquid glass for just 1 second, speaking of which, I really hope that if they don't already have this, at some point they introduce with the liquid glass a version of it where it's still colored. Like, you know, you'll still see that like Discord, like bluish purple. You'll still see like the blue sky, bright blue, Spotify green, you know, but it is in like the glass form. I think that would I just think that'd be really nice, and I would want that.
Well, here, I'm gonna swap on my phone to the not clear ones. They do have that glass texture, they're just opaque. Let me post it in here.
Yeah, because I'm curious about that. Because, like, again, the color differences or lack thereof was my issue.
When you look at them, you can tell they have that kind of texture to them.
Yeah, I would prefer still having the translucency. Wait, let me look to the other one to see if it. No, it didn't have much translucency there either. I want more. I want just I just want a little kiss, like as if like, you know, it's like a little serum of translucency, but you just put a dot in there, like as much as you'd put food coloring in something. I want just the slightest amount of ability to see through the eyes of the Discord logo. You know, fucking. Yeah. That'd be nice. Anyway, yeah.
What else? So there's now a dedicated game overlay. Like if you're on Windows and you hit the Xbox button, you have the game overlay. Apple has one now too. Let's see.
How good are Macs for gaming nowadays?
They're getting a lot better. They're actually caring about making them gaming machines now. Like every time they have an announcement, there's been a bunch more games. The last couple years,
that makes sense.
It hasn't been long, but they've had some pretty big ones. Mac gaming. Let's see.
Wasn't like Control specifically advertised to be like compatible?
I believe
like it runs well. Yeah, something to that effect. I think I almost like slipped up in my fucking brain to think, oh, Control was made for Mac. It's just because I'm not used to seeing just like games you would see anywhere else also being advertised on an Apple device. I think I was put in the same frame as like, oh, they have Apple TV Plus shows, and then there's also other streaming shows from other services, you know, but the Apple TV Plus shows come from Apple.
Yeah. Apparently they lose $1 billion every year on Apple TV shows.
Wow. Okay. Glad Ted Lasso got out while it could. I don't know. I mean,
how long they keep announcing more, so presumably they're really wanting to dedicate some serious energy into making their platform.
So I know that. I know that Apple TV Plus is like lumped in with a lot of, you know, Apple ecosystem packages, like that's something cohesive. But how is the price comparatively with something like a Netflix, Disney Plus, etc.?
Let's see. Apple TV Plus price. Okay, I don't care about what's on there. I care about the price. Let's see. $10 a month.
In American dollars. $10 a month.
And let's see, Apple One. So you have like everything in one subscription. Apple One has iCloud Plus, Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple Fitness Plus, and Apple News Plus. How much is it? It is $20 a month. So
I mean, for that whole package, that's not too bad.
That is like pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Netflix.
As long as they're all like
what price is Netflix wanting to extort from me today?
Oh God.
Let's see.
$30 a month.
I don't want to sign in to see more than the basic version. Netflix price. Premium is $25 a month just for Netflix.
Good God. Jesus Christ.
And standard with ads is $18.
I still don't. I mean, we've gone through the whole thing of how paid subscription service should not still have ads on it. But yeah, what threw me off is my exaggerated jokey price was only $5 off of the actual listed price.
Let me make a slight correction on the prices for Apple One. Apple One, $20 a month is iCloud Plus 50 gigabytes of cloud storage, TV Plus, music, and arcade. So like the main things most people are gonna want, $20. There is a family plan for $25.95, and that's iCloud Plus 200 gigabytes. Everything else is the same, and you can share it with 5 people. And Premiere is $38 a month. Share it with up to 5 people. You get 2 terabytes of cloud storage, and then you get the Fitness Plus and News Plus included.
When you say how, like, when you talk about how, like, the fucking how much storage is in the iCloud stuff, I'm like, even if it was nothing else, I could kind of see it for that. Like, that's like with how cohesive that is with the ecosystem. Yeah, that's I can see that.
Yeah, right now I literally only pay for the iCloud stuff just because it's so useful.
Yeah, it's like, even if it's not the best like UI for iCloud or whatever, like hypothetically speaking, like the fact that it works so well within its ecosystem, and then there's so much of it that you can access, and I hear it's pretty fast as well. Yeah.
So yeah, going back to macOS, there's one more thing that's really cool about macOS now, and it is when the dynamic island came to iOS, what came with it was live activities. So it was like a constant changing notification of like, oh, hey, you have a delivery coming in, you know, your Uber or whatever is arriving. And it will just display live on the top of your device, wherever you are. macOS is now getting live activities, which is very nice. I would love having just that on my computer screen to let me know, hey, my Uber is almost here. And let me just say, this is actually one thing that Android's catching up with, and so I'm going to take the time to say Android doesn't have this yet. They're working on it, and in a beta that I'm using on my phone, it looks garbage. I hope they make it look nicer before they push it to the public.
Which specific part?
I forget what Android's calling them, but the like live updating notification of something that's happening.
Okay.
They don't currently have that. And in the beta, it looks really rough.
Layers open.
Let's see. More shortcut capabilities are coming to macOS. So that's nice. I mean, I like shortcuts. Updates to Apple's Metal graphics framework. I don't know much about their graphics framework, but it adds frame interpolation, denoising, and more for better performance and quality of games.
That sounds pretty solid.
Oh yeah, there's a new watchOS. I don't care for anything about watchOS other than the wrist flick gesture. Oh my god, that's going to be so nice, because so many times I will have a notification on my watch that'll just come up when I raise my arm up, and it just won't go away for the longest time. And I'm not always able to use my other hand to just flick it away. This is going to be so nice.
Yeah. I thought of the utility of that, but I was thinking, oh shit, how many people are gonna be like, oh, I'm checking a notification, and then maybe I'm in the grocery store and I'm reaching for something, and I just forget that it's on the fucking watch hand, so it does turn over the wrist in order to do that. So, oh, okay, now I gotta fucking take out whatever, or I gotta interact with it specifically. Like, I feel like it's something you could accidentally activate a bunch of times.
I thought it was like 2 flicks. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think it's 2. but I mean, I hope it is.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been rocking it for the past few days, and I have not accidentally swiped away a notification.
Okay, well that's good. I hope that continues.
Let's see what's next. tvOS. I don't know shit about tvOS. I don't really care. I think it has more translation. Woo.
Good shit.
Oh wait, the thing I didn't talk about for iOS, the Apple Music app, will now have translations for songs in languages other than the one you speak.
Right.
And if you don't want the translation and you just want to sing along, it will have the how to say it
the phonetics
in your language, your phonetics.
I fucking that. How many okay? I think this is actually, if it's implemented well, that's probably going to contribute to certain people learning how to speak a language better.
Yeah.
I that's awesome. I wonder with international Apple users, let's say, I don't know, they're fucking from China or India or fucking, any number of other, Spain or something, and they're listening to a Doja Cat song or a Dua Lipa, and they are having for their language, the phonetics. I don't know how phonetics work outside of English. I don't know if it's similar or not. That is something I'll be fascinated to see a lot.
Yeah, there's not much else for tvOS. It has the liquid glass. Apparently they haven't had call notifications from your phone to tvOS, so now there's call notifications.
That might blow up in somebody's face. They weren't supposed to know about the text. Someone's gonna
Vision OS. I didn't watch the part about Vision OS at all. I don't really care. Until they make one that's affordable, don't really care about Vision OS. But apparently, just from their little graphic they put together, the persona for FaceTime is new. I don't know what changed. It just says all new persona. More spatial scenes.
I have seen an example of,
you can it says game controller breakthrough. I don't know what that means, but they have it. Their hand tracking is now at 90 hertz.
Oh, fantastic.
Create folders in home view. There's not been folders on Vision OS. That's crazy.
I have seen what the new avatars look like from I think it was an Adam Savage video, and there's still a little bit of uncanny valley with it, but it is much better than they were before. I
wonder how it handles beards, because I know that was a pain point for it before.
I remember that he had one in it, and I did not notice it being substantially worse quality than the rest of the I didn't notice.
But he doesn't have a big beard.
Sure, it is noticeable.
You can still see his lips.
Right. I am curious now. I wonder.
Let's see. Vision OS is not getting widgets. Shared experiences. So I guess if you have two people that have Vision OS in the same room, which is probably very likely because it's the two people that own them, right. They hang out a lot, I'm sure. So you could just watch something together.
When it comes to the widgets specifically, that me finding out that that's not in there would be a deciding factor for me not to buy one. I love the idea of you just get to put widgets up in your space that are basically normal real life stuff but enhanced digitally to where you can resize it and whatever. It could function a little differently. Maybe you have some depth, indentation. That's something I'm excited about.
Yeah. Actually, I do like that we're kind of brushing over it, even though Meta does not have this yet.
Yeah, I think that's a crock of shit. I especially with the new I love the look of the new navigator menu from the Quest. It's just it still doesn't have any you plant something on a wall. That was entirely false advertising. When they showed it off when it came to new OS updates. But Oh, what was the thing? Oh yeah, with someone with a huge beard with the avatar, I really wonder if, like, let's say they have one that's like down to their belly button or longer, like some old dude that just, is shelling out the dough for a Vision Pro. I would love to see if it just has some kind of weird cutoff, like a flat tip.
Yeah. One of the people I listen to their podcast, they have big bushy beard, and it kind of looked like a monstrosity
Oh
when
no.
they scanned it, because it just like it scanned the beard and just plastered it to a smooth face. It looked
Oh god.
horrifying.
And like does it, like, if you have a big beard, I wonder if it would, like, ideally, like, encourage you to even scan it differently, because it's prepared for you to just like have all the different angles on literally like the positioning of your skull, of your face, like that for the structure, I'm sure. And so for like a big beard, you'd have to like put it lower and everything, and it'd have to calibrate for that. I'm not saying they couldn't, account for that, but do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Hope so.
Safari spatial browsing is one of their bullet points. I don't know what that means, but they have it.
I wish.
And now you can unlock your iPhone with the Vision Pro. That's nice, I guess.
Like, what does that mean, though? Like, what
I'm presuming if you have the Vision Pro on and you pull your phone up to it, your phone will be like, yeah, you're you, instead of needing you to put in your passcode.
That is the funniest shit. I like I have had a number of times when I've tried to take my phone out of my pocket to like answer a text or something, and this was back when I still like used Face Unlock, which I don't anymore. I rely on fingerprint. But I remember it's like, oh, we can't recognize your face, and I'm like, oh right, I'm wearing literally wearing a headset.
Yeah. So I presume it'll work very much the same way to when I put my watch on and then I open my phone and I haven't like unlocked the watch, it'll unlock the watch just by virtue of it's on a wrist and my phone is unlocked now.
Mm-hmm.
So I presume it's a lot like that, of just like, oh yeah, you have the Vision unlocked. Yeah, you will unlock your phone.
So, you know what? Let's take care of this one.
Let's see if there's like a little bit of a blurb below this. Let's see if there's a new collaborative pro usage. Got a co-op game call out, but it's for business. I don't know what that means. None of those words meant things to me. Mm-hmm. If you're using a shared team device, you can save your settings on your iPhone. There's also a new eyes only mode for privacy. I don't know what that means. Logitech Muse 3D stylus and PSVR hand controllers are now compatible, so that's cool. You'll be able to edit Premiere Pro video and playback native 360-degree playback for action cams. Okay. So it does look like they actually want to make the Vision OS a actual work machine, so that's cool.
I would fucking hope so. But on top of that, with the PlayStation controllers, I'm starting to wonder if if the price ever comes down, of course, because like you said, basically no one has one outside of like influencers. But will we start to see the Vision Pro in places like VR chat? I would hope, like, I wouldn't want to spend a few $1,000 fucking dollars on effectively a VR headset that can't get into VR chat.
Here is why I think we won't see, even if it becomes compatible. Here's the target audience is vastly different. I think.
I would protest that, actually. Okay, so
I would say if you care enough to dish out that much money to play VR chat, you're getting a different machine.
Yeah, okay. Because I was just thinking about it in terms of like how much money you'd shell out. Because I know that like it doesn't take very long in VR chat to find somebody who spent like how many thousands on the PC and also on the full body tracking and like, the
Yeah.
Valve Index or a better one. Yeah.
For the money you could spend on this, you're getting full body tracking and a nice PC.
But if someone is starting from a standpoint where they were not already interested in something like VR chat, and they got the Vision OS as a work machine and then wanted to see what more they could do with it, then it's like, oh, right, VR chat's that thing I've been hearing about that some people do in VR. I have a headset. Why can't I play VR chat with it if I have controllers? I can see that.
I just don't think it's going to be a lot of people. I didn't say zero.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of it. I think they're going to be the people that are still using the Quest 1, you know?
Which you literally can't. But if Vision OS sold better, like I would start to think, oh, that's like the highly in demand thing that is going to happen eventually.
I think the only way it sells better is they make a different version, and in that case, yeah, I would presume a cheaper version would get there. That's what I would presume, but it's like you're not going to see a lot of people in the Vision Pro. I don't think so.
I just love to like walk up to somebody and I see in their like little name tag when I pull up my menu, you know how it like says what platform they're on, and so it's like, oh, there's a Vision Pro user. Not gonna like introduce like, oh, I know you're a Vision Pro user, but just like, hey, how you doing? Name is Stevie, and then I just hear out of their mic, oh, like just as if it's just got really horrible compatibility or something.
No, you know what would be fucking crazy if VR chat made it possible for you to do the like FaceTime 3D scan of your face.
Like, oh, and
it would be so bad. It would be so bad.
Like I would love for the tech of it alone, I would love to see that tied to like a full body tracking setup. But good God, would that be mortifying to look?
Oh my God. It would be the most uncanny of valleys.
And like think of the imposter equivalent of that avatar. Good Christ.
Imagine somebody is like they're sharing the headset. And they just look like a completely different person. They look like their friend.
You know what? If they did have compatibility with VR chat, just like we
should bully them off the platform.
Right, but they should go all out. Hold on, they should go all out, and their avatar should have an option in that little dial menu to put on a Vision Pro that has the creepy eye thing on the front.
Yeah,
and that's what they look like to everybody. Oh God, I hate it.
All right, so that is WWDC covered, I believe, more or less. I'm 100% sure I missed a couple things, and we didn't really go over WatchOS because who gives a fuck. But yeah, I really like this update. I really like all the additions they've put in. I like the new design. And I'm using my iPhone even more. Like, it's just become the everything device again. It's no longer just the work device. I take it to bed, scroll some shit before falling asleep.
You know, I'm glad it's working out. I'm glad that they're getting better than whence they were, and I really hope that Android, with like the stuff that I know is not going to come over in terms of customizability, in terms of basically all the famous like gaps between Android and iPhone. I want them to just do some of the copycat shit that both companies have done toward each other for decades now, and has not been a problem. I want to see some of that shit come over to Android. I don't know when it will, but I would like it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and so I think to close out this episode, I'm going to talk about, I made a Steam Curator page where I am sharing Steam games that I really like, that I think maybe people have not really looked too hard at. Okay, that did become a clickable link. So I just put that in the chat. I'm also going to put it in the Thought Bubble Discord. If you want to get into the Thought Bubble Discord, Mrs. Ashley.gay, MISSUS Ashley.gay.
You chat with us anytime.
But yeah,
I fucking
bunch of cool games on there that I really hope some people will take a look at.
Amazing tasting games. Yeah.
Top ones that I would say to take a look at if you like really cute platformers. Here Comes Nico is a really cute 3D platformer. If you like cute 2D platformers, Kitsune Tales, it is Super Mario Bros. 3, but with lesbian foxes.
Lesbian foxes!
Let's see. What else? If you like weird, absurd, Zelda-esque, Devil May Cry-esque, it's a very strange game. If any of those words tickled your fancy, it is Carter's Quest. I won't say anything more because I think if you're going to play it, you should just go fucking play it. Best experience knowing nothing about it. If you like more kind of grindy, time trial-esque 2D platforms, if you like playing Sonic and want to get the best times in all of the levels, go play Action Henk. 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 Not Hank. Henk. Amazing little game.
Like, I feel like you're not saying A versus E. You're like speaking from two like several states away, like regions of the United States, saying the same name.
Yeah. Let's see. If you want a stupid party game, Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball, fucking amazing. Currently $2. Go fucking buy it.
It sounds incredible.
There's a good number of little party games that are on this list. So if you want games for the next party night, go through my list. You'll probably find a couple you like.
There is like if I'm just like going window shopping on Steam, I could see this being like the first place I'd go. And I cannot wait until this list has a healthy dose of Lego games and One Finger Death Punch franchise games. But
it's getting neither Lego or One Finger Death Punch.
And I just, I do think that it cripples the experience, and it's I think it seriously hinders its ability to reach the heart.
It might get One Finger Death Punch, but it's definitely not getting Lego. I'll tell you that much for free.
That's a fair compromise. I was gonna say, but as neither, then it might seriously hinder its ability to reach the heart of a Thought Bubble listener. I think that I think
you mean a host.
I think a primary part of the experience of listening to this is that it is the perfect show to listen to while you play a round of blind survival and One Finger Death Punch 2. There is bar none. You cannot find a better one.
Let's see, who makes these games? Silver Dollar. Okay, yeah. The One Finger Death Punch might get on there.
The second one I think is a little better.
Yeah, definitely not any Lego game, because the point of the list is to get things people haven't heard of.
Oh, that's fair.
Unless there's a ridiculously obscure Lego game, which I don't think that exists.
I do want to say though about weird thing about the One Finger Death Punch franchise, which I don't know if you'd call it a franchise at 2, but I will. So I was like, I don't remember what I was looking around for, but I eventually found a Reddit post where someone was comparing One Finger Death Punch 1 and 2. And I found out, weirdly, I have the unpopular opinion that 2 is better than 1. I think it flows better. I think that some of the stuff that felt unforgiving in a way that like reduced how fun it was with the first one, despite it still being a great game, very fun, were all improved in 2. So if you want my recommendation, it's 2. If you want the broader one, it's 1. And you as a listener can make your choice. Also, you could get both for under $10 fucking dollars, I'm pretty sure. So just, I don't know, pick your fucking flavor. It's up to you.
Or you can go to my list and buy a ton of other games.
Exactly.
Let's see, what's under $10 right now? Go fucking buy Stealth Bastard Deluxe for $1.30. Amazing puzzle platformer.
Better title.
What's sad is, so Stealth Bastard Deluxe, it got a sequel, but that sequel had a physical release, and you can't put Bastard on a physical release and expect anyone to want to sell it. So the sequel is Stealth Inc. I think that game is also very good, and it will probably get a review on here at some point.
I'm a little surprised though that like that Quentin Tarantino got away with like just misspelling Bastard, and he got his onto DVD shelves across the country.
Yeah,
but this one couldn't. I don't know.
Look, that's Tarantino though.
I don't know. You say it's a good game.
It's not the biggest game of all time.
I just say, like, you could just put an E in there and no one knows. In fact, probably a whole generation of kids too young to watch that would end up like misspelling Bastard for a long time because they just didn't see it spelled out in any other way other than that movie poster.
Yeah, then you're definitely not speaking from experience.
There's nothing. I have never met a person this happen. It didn't take until I was 19 years old to figure out how to properly spell Bastard. Oh god. It doesn't feel right once you've seen the E version. You have to admit that.
I mean, sure, I've always spelled it correctly though.
Okay, alright. Okay. Hope your mic glasses drop.
Oh wait, I just realized, so I did a review of Hyperdash on the Curator page. I don't remember if it was like 5v5 shooter in VR. It says VR supported though. Is there a non-VR version of this game now?
Like, I was questioning that because I didn't know that you would. I was surprised that you even put a VR game on your Curator list.
VR
only because
games.
The
two good ones.
Prioritize that for it. Yeah, right. But I wouldn't
only two
like good. Yeah. Well, what is the other one though? It's not Hyperdash.
It is Panoptic.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Panoptic definitely got kind of lost in the shuffle of everything VR.
Because I remember very vaguely hearing it. But
it's a game where it's a VR and a flat screen game, 2-player. And so one person's in VR and they're like an overseer of this kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, but like an area. They're an overseer of it. One person plays as one of the million exactly same looking dudes trying to like destroy the orbs of power or whatever of the overseer. I don't know what they are, but you just have to blend in, not get caught, and destroy these orbs.
I've definitely seen. I think I saw this on a Tuesday news day. Yeah,
Dude,
this
you
thing
fucking played this. I've made you play this. It was through what's the like where you can play local multiplayer games over the internet on Steam. What the fuck's it called?
Oh,
Remote play.
Oh, remote play. Oh, okay. So you mean in 2D?
Yeah, you played the 2D version.
I see. So okay, because I'm like I would have remembered. But yeah, no, I can see that now. If you still have this, I'd love to play it again.
Oh, I definitely still have it.
Yeah.
The only game on my Curator page I don't own on Steam right now is Ollie Ollie, and that's because I played that on 3DS. I do have one of the sequels, though. I just haven't played a lot of it.
Is Ollie Ollie a skateboard game?
Yeah, it's a 2D skateboard game.
God, I think it'd be really funny to have like a VR skateboarding game where like, because it sounds like a fun idea, and then you remember, oh yeah, how would you actually control that unless you have full body tracking? I would just love for it to have really awkward, like your controllers have to be the feet and the floor is just very elevated. It it just feels like it'd be kind of a goofy game and fun
No,
idea.
you just port Skate 3 and you just have a regular
I'm,
controller.
and then you'd like do the then you'd have the, oh, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about, the bone breaking game mode.
Yeah.
You just have that and like and you'd have like a character model that like feels like any other VR character model, but like you see the injury like translucent thing going on. Yeah. That'd be fucking rad.
I can't wait for the next Skate game to come out. I need it so badly.
I can't wait for it to make me care about doing actual skateboard stuff and tricks for more than like 10 to 15 minutes before I'm like, let's see the breaking shit.
Oh wait, that reminded me. I don't remember if I did a review of Teardown. I think I was waiting because I learned there's apparently multiplayer now
Oh.
for Teardown.
How do they sync that?
No fucking clue, but I saw they posted something on Twitter or whatever where they're like, yeah, we're gonna have deathmatch in Teardown.
Oh god, are they gonna have like voxel bodies just splaying fucking flesh and bone and blood everywhere?
I guess. I
Like,
I didn't really watch the gameplay. Apparently they announced this 3 months ago.
That's the kind of game it is. So I'm wondering if they're just gonna change the whole tone of the game, because that's like a very frame for it to be in.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see whenever it officially comes out or is out. I don't know. I just saw a tweet, and so I decided not to make a review of Teardown until I looked at it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
All right. So I think with that might be the end of our show.
Improvvr.co.uk. I just just to
You know,
make sure
I'm
you
just
don't
gonna
cut off
start because you don't even play it fun. So I'm just gonna start ending the stream without warning.
Just you gotta do it like when I'm halfway through what we think is